We are So Not Straight would like to acknowledge that the recording of this podcast takes place on the unceded traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. Welcome to We Are So Not Straight,
the podcast where two drag sisters talk about everything curvy, swervy, and crooked.
We are your hosts, Michaela
and DJ.
And we are so happy you're tuning in. I don't know how that sounded.
I don't either.
We'll find out. It's always a guessing game on if it's going to sound correct or together. Who knows? You know.
Anyways, yeah. We are so happy to be back with another episode of Season 2.
But before we get into that, we just want to clarify a couple of things.
First off, we are not here to judge any contestant on their drag.
Drag is a form of art, and all art is valid.
We are, however, here to comment on how their drag relates to any competition and the challenges that were put before them.
And second, everything that we say on this podcast is our opinion and our opinion alone.
Period.
Yeah, period. Point blank, period.
So now is normally the time where we would update y'all on our Drag Race Fantasy League. However, our drag sister didn't do the math yet.
Nope.
The episode comes out tomorrow.
But that's okay. We will figure this out and insert a clip of what is actually happening with our Drag Race Fantasy League right here.
So, in this little clip, because we didn't do it before, we are going to be updating you guys on our Drag Race Fantasy Draft.
Draft.
There we go. So, last week, I'm going to give y'all a couple of seconds, because I am going to say who went home. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so unfortunately, we did lose another one of my queens last week. We lost Amethyst. I mean, it was her third time in the bottom, which kind of sucks.
DJ just isn't doing well this season, unfortunately.
Yeah. Are we going to get an All-Stars next, or are we going to get season 16?
I think we'll probably get All-Stars next.
Do we want to do this for All-Stars?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you want us to do this for All-Stars, people? Let us know. Let us know. Comment down below if you're on the YouTube, and if you are not, then
email us.
Or go comment on the YouTube. I mean, either or, your choice. If you would like us to continue our draft updates for All-Stars and all of those things, let us know.
Okay, so the draft score, which is, I don't know how Nathaniel did it. I don't know how to describe it. But let's just go down the list. So first up is Lux Noir London. This is Michaela's queen with a score of 16. Sorry, I have to squint because I have terrible eyesight and I take my glasses off. Sasha Colby has a score of 18. Lucy LaDuca, in a shocking turn of events, has a score of 22.
She really came up just up
She
the back
was like
there.
my teetering, and then I went with Amethyst, and now I'm kind of kicking myself. Because I'm like,
oops.
I underestimated her. Anyway, Anitra has a score of 21. Marsha is close behind with a score of 20. Malaysia Baby Doll Fox has a score of 11. Robin Fierce has a score of 6. Mistress Isabel Brooks has a score of 15. Or Mayari has a score of 3.
Okay, but to be fair, I just got her because last week was her first week.
Yeah. Jax has a score of 14. Selena is still an alternate, and Spice also has a score of 11. So that's individual kind of standings. Now let's go on to the team totals. Team Minx has a score of 53. Team Trouble is in second with a score of 46. Team Joey and Connor, we added Connor because he shows up to the watch parties too, he knows nothing about Drag Race, so we just kind of lumped the two people who know nothing
They're
onto
just
one
together.
team.
They are just a pair.
And then I'm in last with a score of 34.
Can we talk about the fact that you're at 34?
I'm a whole, like,
50,
10 points 54? Behind.
53? 53?
Yeah. Well, technically, I'm only 10 points behind you guys. But, like, Nathaniel, I'm 20 points behind.
Yeah. We just need Nathaniel's team to take a hit.
I have a feeling Mistress will stick it out. I'm not really worried about losing her.
DJ. If DJ loses another queen, he'll be down to 1.
Down to 1. I have a feeling I'm losing Spice. I really don't know about her.
Why? Because she lost Sugar, and so now you don't think she has the confidence?
No, it's just I don't really see... Like, you know, when I see a winner, I'm like, okay, this person is going on worldwide tours. This person is doing so much charity work and is actively getting booked. I feel like the twins have kind of put themselves out as TikTok queens, and I feel like it would take a lot to launch them out of that space. So I don't know. I don't know.
I think they're like, honestly, some of
they're amazing. Their drag is amazing.
Insanity. Like, I look at it and I'm like, whoa, like I would never think of doing that.
But it's like Sasha literally won Miss Continental, and she knows what it takes to reign, and all the pageant queens, you know, who have had a reign, and maybe people who have done maybe Vancouver's Next Drag Superstar or something, even though that is not the case here. It's just the first thing that's on my mind when it comes to winning and showcasing all kinds of drag. It's just, I don't know. I feel like a couple of these people maybe aren't. I don't know how they would handle the ring.
That's fair.
So.
I understand that. I get that. I mean, I feel like I have a strong chance with who's left on my team because I feel like they all kind of have different things that they're good at. So I feel like I have a good chance of at least getting someone.
Well, I had a wide range of people, and then 2 of them went home. Poor
DJ.
I'm quitting.
We will find out. We actually, funny enough, we're actually watching the episode in
30 minutes.
30 minutes. So we will find out if DJ is going to lose another queen in about 30 minutes, and we will update you.
Justice for DJ, okay?
Yeah, justice for DJ. We will update you on what happens on tonight's episode on next week's podcast. So make sure you tune into that one.
Another update. We have a TikTok now. We have a video up there. Yeah, we have a video up there already reflecting on our season. Not reflecting. It's from our season 1 days.
It is. It's from our season 1. It's actually from our second group of interviews that we did with 3 of the members of Call Me Mother season 2. And I was so nervous about putting it out there because it's not that it's mean, but it's like, we don't want to trigger anybody or do anything like that or cause anybody harm. And so my fear was that we were going to do flashbacks to what happened on the show, and they were going to be upset. But just for clarification from everyone, we've heard from all 3 of them, and they all said they thought it was funny. So all is good, period. But if you would like to go and check it out for yourself, our TikTok is We Are So Not Straight Pod, which is exactly just like our Instagram. So I made it really easy for you guys to find us. So please go and follow us. We would really appreciate that. And I will be putting more TikToks out there, I promise. Yeah,
I was going to say, we'll be putting more stuff up there. Probably just the funny moments, blooper reels, all that good stuff. So definitely make sure to go follow us over there.
Yeah, especially from this season because, so here's a dumb editor thing that Michaela did, update for everybody. So my computer was having issues in the way of, you guys know that I already had computer issues because all of my little ports on my computer had decided to just go kaput. But we fixed that problem. Thank you to Apple support yesterday when I... Shout out to them because I texted them, I messaged them at 1 a.m. being like, hey, so I did this podcast and I can't get my microphone or my camera to connect to my, anything, like nothing's working. And so this lovely, nice lady helped me. And now I hope you can tell, but I have my actual microphone and my actual camera working. So fingers crossed it stays like that. But anyways, the other thing that was the problem was I had no space left on my computer from season 1 to season 2 of the podcast. So I moved everything onto a drive, except for I didn't move the original videos that we took for season 1 over to the drive, just the ones that I've edited. So I don't have any of the footage from season 1. So I can only take stuff for the podcast, like TikTok and stuff like that, from the edited versions of season 1. However, I have all of the footage from season 2. So even if something doesn't make it into the podcast, you might find it on our TikTok. So it's definitely worth going and checking out, because that's where you'll find all the weird stuff that doesn't make it into the actual podcast. There you go. Story time with Michaela.
Story time with Michaela. Okay. For this episode, we have a very lovely interview with a very lovely streamer friend. It's Ian Watson, and I think we should get into that. So without
I agree. Let's do it. So let's get into it.
For this very special segment of Let Me Introduce You, we have our very special Twitch bestie. Not any old Ian Watson. It's Ian Watson.
It's true. It's true. Thank you. That's a proper plug so everyone can actually check out all of the socials. It's the same, baby. It's called branding. How are y'all doing?
Period. I'm so good. How are you?
I'm so excited. I'm nervous, which is so funny because I'm just talking to 2 of my friends. But it's just one of those things where cameras on, time for me to be on. I don't know. And you're like, just talk, Ian. Just talk. You're fine. You got this, baby. You got this. But
you know what? Excited. We love it. We love it so much. We were so happy when you said you would be on the podcast, because we were like, we need Ian on the podcast. So
when I got the DM, I was like, me? Is it me? Am I the next guest? I don't think I'm the next guest. I am the next guest. So there we go.
Yes.
There we go.
Period.
Any chance to quote Scarlet Envy? I'm taking it. Sorry.
Nathaniel's quivering in her grave. We stand Scarlet. This main honey, we live. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to jump right into the questions because I'm very excited for this interview. So, before you found the amazing platform of Twitch, where did you kind of start? Where were you introduced to it? Is there any background story, villain origin, if you will?
Yeah, there is a villain origin story. It's true. It started in the 1800s. No, I'm kidding.
Oh God.
I'm 1,000. I always say I'm 1,000. Well, my next birthday is coming up February. Oh, it's almost here actually. In 7 days.
You're an Aquarius? Oh,
I am an Aquarius through and through.
Wait, when's your birthday?
February 10th.
He
February
just said
10th.
that.
I'm the 17th.
Oh, you're just at the cutoff too, because 19th is when it turns to Pisces. I love. But I'm so sorry. It really, when, besides being an Aquarius, there's more to me than that. There's more to me than my star sign. There isn't really. It really describes me to the T. I'm really an Aquarius, Virgo. You're like, look it up. You're like, oh, E. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. Don't worry. Don't you worry. No, but before I was in doing content creation and being a Twitch streamer and everything in that realm, I was just a actor, busted my butt in Los Angeles. I'm an L alien, so I got to hit the ground running. So I'm very lucky. And it was I was actively auditioning. I was filming stuff. I literally filmed a commercial right before the pandemic. So I was like, oh, things are going. And then the pandemic was really cool in a way for me to kind of realize the things that are important in my life. And I went, oh my goodness, when I started doing the Twitch streaming stuff, because what gig am I going to book? I don't know. But I during the pandy, that's very tough. So I turned to Twitch streaming. Thank you, BK Kasky, for helping me. And the rest, it's been the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. And it's been weird to focus more on like community stuff and I don't know. It's just been like really fulfilling in a way that acting never was, but I still get to have this like parts of acting that is really exciting because I do sketches on my channel all the time. So and bits, I love a bit. So it's just been fun to kind of like take my career and kind of like do what makes sense for me now. I got my degree in acting. I know my poor family, my poor family.
Weaponizing the BFA.
I'm always weaponizing the BFA. If you say something and I get to cry on command, I'm like, yes, let me use it because I don't get to use it for anything else right now. No, I'm kidding. But like, it was to go from acting and like getting my degree in that, and then going back to Los Angeles and like auditioning and booking stuff and all of that jazz. You kind of get stuck in the rat race of it all, and you keep going. And because I was going, I never got to stop and like kind of like have a moment of like check-in of like, does this spark the joy that it used to? And it's like so tough to be like, no.
That's like the hardest thing to have sometimes when you get into something, you're like, I should be really happy with what I'm doing, but I'm not. And it's one of those things I think that a lot of people can relate to in that way too.
Absolutely. And I think the pandemic gave us so much time as well to like kind of reevaluate everything in that regard. And so it made me have like the realization of like a real conversation. Ian, did you enjoy being on set all the time, or like those call times, or like these scripts that aren't the best necessarily, but you like convince yourself that it's the best because you want it to be the best and you're just so excited? And it was in that moment where I went, oh. So I'm excited to keep acting, but kind of now change it in a totally different trajectory. Like I still have like auditions that I do, but it's more so self-tapes and through other producers I've worked with before, and less so me going for every single audition and auditioning all day, every day. It's just exhausting. And this has just been so much nicer. So that was a lot. Y'all gonna need to cut that. I am so sorry. The editing. I am so sorry. I'm sorry to the listeners. I can't help it. I went on and on and on.
Don't apologize.
And I was a teacher too. So there was a lot. And I did drag. I did it all. Like it was a lot. And now I just stream.
Well, speaking of your streaming, actually, what can people expect if they come to an It's Ian Watson stream?
What they can expect is just this constant existential crisis that I'm going through. You can visually see it immediately. As soon as you get into the stream, you're like, oh, he's at his breaking point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are so close. I can see it. They're about to snap. But no, I'm totally kidding. Really, I just like I've said before, I'm like a lot of times I'm a just chatting streamer who's playing a game while I'm just chatting. I'm always talking. I never stop. And it's how I really play games in my real life. If you were like just a fly on the wall, you'd be like, he's talking to himself. And I'm like, listen, those pixels were my friends growing up when you're deeply closeted, okay? So thank you very much. Those pixels got me through. So I still talk to them, and you'll see me in just a stream of consciousness as I play a cutesy game. And if they're not cutesy, I simply make them cutesy. There we go. Look I got it all out.
Period.
I was about to say, you got it all out there. Look at you go.
The talking to yourself is the Virgo energy, but also like talking to yourself through a video game is just like an experience. It makes you feel like you're not like isolated and alone, and like you're putting it out into the universe, this amazing energy. I sounded so crazy.
No, that was so it though, because the way you said it, and I went, yes, exactly that. Because growing up sometimes, and then like in real life, later in life, you get diagnosed with like, oh, you're depressed and have anxiety. You know, like,
depression.
Oops, that makes sense. But when I was playing those games, a lot of times I couldn't play it for a long periods of time because I would feel so isolated. And like now through like Twitch and everything, I don't have that, and I'm able to game on my own, and like I still kind of have that residual feeling from like how it feels on stream that I don't have when I was like, remember like young Ian playing Pokemon on their Game Boy Advance or whatever, and being like, oh, I've been playing this for hours and I feel sad because I've been just looking at a small screen. But if that happens to you, take breaks. But for now, I don't really deal with that anymore.
Drink water. Take your meds if you need to. This is your meta reminder.
Thank you for that. Really quick, right now, if you're listening, drink that. Hydrate up.
Yes. Also, I just had this flashback to me with my, like, 2DS under the covers at, like, 10 o'clock on a school night, like, playing, like, Mario Kart 7.
Ideal.
Like, my mom would be like, what are you doing? And I would just be like, be asleep. Shit.
Mhm.
Mine was Nintendo Dogs. I played Nintendo Dogs like
It's
religiously.
Nintendo
I
Dogs.
love that.
Go off.
Whatever, Nintendo Dogs, things, whatever. I don't care. I just knew they were cute.
Tomato.
That's all
I knew what you meant, but
There
really,
you go. See.
I love that though because like we all have like similar consoles, or the same consoles, but we all played like a different game, and I love that. It makes me so happy because like people don't realize that there's games for every type of person too. Like people are like, I'm not a gamer, and I'm like, baby. If you took a second with Animal Crossing, you might see the light. If you take a second with the Stardew Valley, maybe an Overwatch. Yes. I don't know what you like. Try it. They're all there. If you like one, you might not like the other.
It's like not every gamer likes getting called slurs on Valorant.
No,
like,
no. Wait, which gamer likes that?
Literally. It's for people with like the sweaty
it's
controller and they're just like playing, I don't know. Valorant, if you're listening, fix your shit. Sorry.
No, it's very tough because I hear a lot of friends, and so that's why I'm afraid to try that one. I'm nervous.
Don't play ranked.
No, I mean, I didn't play, like, I've always said, and I do a lot of open lobbies in my stream too, that I don't care about skill, gameplay. I want you to try. Like, I don't want you to be like, let me just throw it and make everyone's life a misery. Like, don't do that. But if you suck at a game, I don't care. Who cares? I just want you to have fun. If I was an esports, maybe, but there's so many people that take games so seriously, and they're never going to be like a professional, like gamer that I don't know why the stakes are so high for them. Like I would understand if they're like, I'm so close to this league, I need to just keep push. Go off. But like most people are just doing the best they can, and I want everyone to the people I like, I want them to want to play with me. If I make them feel bad, they're not going to want to play with me. So
like that's one of my favorite parts about your community is that it's so inclusive, and that you like when we do like open lobbies and stuff like that, you're always like, even if you don't know how to play, like let's do it. I'll teach you. Like let's do it.
I'll give you your first time.
And exactly, like it's just one of those things, and it's always so inclusive in that way too, which always makes me feel happy too, especially since just a lot of the time I was
gonna say cut to us dragging Michaela across a bridge in Roblox.
No, but legit though. Like that's actually it. Like that's the facts. But like when I play with your lobby and like open lobby and stuff like that, it always makes me feel like I'm like, even if I'm not great, it doesn't matter because I'm playing with my friends.
But you are great. I think it's so easy to like get in your head. But like I just like you. You know what I mean? Like I would always want you to play with me. I'm never gonna be like if you're like I don't want to play. I'm like please don't join. I don't want to force you by all means. But if you want to play, I want you there because it's so like the gaming community has been so fun because I've met so many of my favorite people on this planet through just playing like a stupid game. Like thank goodness, it's so nice just to I don't know, deepen bonds through easy way. It's so easy to like bond with someone over a video game, and then other stuff comes up after that, and you can bond and get closer through that. And it's just so I don't know. I think it's lovely, gal. I just think it's lovely.
It is. It truly, truly is. So you did mention some drags.
Yes.
Before. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. I used to do drag for a good amount of time. It surprises me when I really think about how many years. I will not be saying how many years. That is no one's business. You are not aging me. Thank you. Anyway, no one was trying to.
You did an ankle reveal and it shocked the internet.
No, don't you dare. Don't you. I ain't showing that. Not for free. Subscribe to. No, I'm just kidding. Surprise! Well, you said because I saw DJ's face when you said the first time, and you're like, "Oop!" And I went, "DJ, don't go there." And then I went there, and then my brain, and now it's over. It's over, y'all. We're in the weirdest territory.
Michaela's got this episode.
I'm so sorry, everyone. It's a shorter episode tonight, baby. It is a shorter. No, I'm totally kidding. Back on track. Sugar Sunshine. And the fact that we're talking about showing ankle and stuff, and I'm like, Sugar Sunshine. She was your friendly drag queen from next door. She's as sweet as sugar and as warm as sunshine. All the dads want her to babysit, and You know why? You know, things like that. It was just really fun because she's everything to me, and I love, and I still do some drag, but again, during the pandemic, it was so hard because I would get shows in drag, and I'm like, this feels weird to do this virtual show, and I'm so used to, because I did stand up in drag. I wasn't much of a lip sync or anything. I did some of that, you know, I did the Long Beach and all of that jazz and went around. But it's so hard to also do that. It's so draining, and you have to work so hard for like a buffalo nickel. So I'm like, I ain't doing it. And it's nice again. Expression. I know. I aging myself again. No one. Sorry, I was in the play. I was in the musical Ragtime, and they're like a buffalo nickel, and there's a song. So I'm not old. I'm gay.
Period.
Michaela is getting this, and it's just lost cause over here.
Sorry. Musical theater.
DJ's like musicals, not there, and I'm like Ragtime. Let's do it. Yeah. Totally.
There's so many different types of queer people out there.
Mm-hmm.
The musical queers and the non-musical queers. That's it, actually. There's only two.
Yeah.
There's only two. I lied. We as queer people get to lie. I think that's what we've all said or something. I don't know. With drag, it was so fun because I've been in films in drag, and it was really cool to kind of be like film and television drag queen. It was really just fun to like meet so many amazing people. Like I'm in a film that you can look at Amazon Prime. I'm not going to name the film. I'm just not. Okay. They didn't pay me for advertising, so it's out there. No, I'm just kidding. But I am. It's called Miss Arizona. I'm so full of shit. It's called Miss Arizona, and like I'm in it with like Willem and Ginger Minge and a lot of other amazing local talent. Roxy is one of the best. If you ever see Bingo with her, do it. Like, she is so good at what she does. And like, I just got to have so many cool opportunities through drag, and I never thought, like, I one time did this random backup dancer in drag where I was for this random indie artist who was lovely. But it was like on my birthday, which is happening in 7 days. Look at full circle. But on my birthday, we performed, and I was just in booty shorts, just a wig, booty shorts, and makeup. That's it. Not really my aesthetic, but like, you have a paycheck, I have a talent.
Like, another.
Yeah, that's
queen.
That's another site. Thank you. No, I'm kidding.
No, I was gonna say that sounds like someone familiar to us.
Oh, you know what? That does really. That is my baby. That's my baby. That's where she gets. She got it from me. It
sounds like your baby.
She got it from me.
For people who don't know, Ian is Nathaniel's drag mother.
Yes,
so,
I put Nathaniel up in drag via the Zoom. I don't think it was Zoom. I think it was Discord.
So
I don't
you're
remember,
responsible
actually.
for this?
I don't know.
I'm the reason. But like, the thing is, like, it was just so nice to bond with Nathaniel through that. And Nathaniel has hit the ground running. Like, going. And I have nothing to do with that. All I was there was like, this is what I do for my face. And then Mystic Minx went, great, thank you. And woo!
Out the door.
I'm proud. They are so brave. Like, I'm always so impressed with the bravery of so many queer people, and I think Nathaniel is also a huge testament to that. So I always am in awe of Nathaniel. But enough about her. Back to me.
Yeah. Kick that old hoe out the door. It's not her podcast.
I mean, to be fair, she doesn't fully listen to our podcast, so I'm calling her out. I'm calling her out on that one because there's multiple
she's not going to listen to your call.
We got to wait. Yeah.
I'm calling her out because there's been multiple times where I've been like, oh, did you hear? Like there was one episode where DJ and I literally made like a joke about Nathaniel.
Amazing.
And we basically like made a joke, and then we were like, by the way, we really do love our sister.
We love
like,
you,
don't get
girl.
us wrong. We do. We love you. And so I was hanging out with them later, and I was like, oh, did you listen to our podcast? And they were like, and I was like, excuse me? And then they were like, I'm actually like 5 or 6 episodes behind. And I was like,
it's so hard though. It's like, you try so hard to be so supportive, and you're like, I am failing so bad, and it makes you feel so bad. But the thing is, like, it's that Nathaniel loves you and everything. And I
No,
know this is all jokes. I know that. But it is so funny to be like, it's like your closest person and they're like, sorry, I know I haven't listened. And it's like, and you're like, these random people are listening, you jerk. But you know it's all love.
We
it's truly
all love.
It's always
everything.
in love.
Oh my God. Like, all
I know.
Support. Yes, period.
Oh,
yeah,
I know.
and I was about to say, and everybody should know by now, at least who listens to our podcast, that every time we make a joke about Nathaniel, we're doing it out of love. It's always like that.
I've only gotten that.
That's how it is. We love our sister very much. But we love to also make jokes about our sister and our sister.
And again, that is so important because I think also people have different relationships with different people as well. Like people have that banter with people that you don't have with every person. Like not everyone feels comfortable with every person to do that, and like it's a testament to your closeness and your type of closeness that you are able to do that without any hurt feelings. Because I'm a baby. If you too much of the joke, I'm like, okay, I know we're joking, but now I'm starting to think this is real. Do you really think all these awful things about me? And they're like, no, and I'm like, and so people are like, okay, we don't go that far with but again, each person is so different, and it's about how you navigate in friendships, in relationships in general, because I think that's such a Twitch thing too, is that some people joke in a certain way, but they can't joke that way with other people. And it's this like weird line of like, you can't joke with that. You don't know if they like that. And you don't know if they like that. Exactly. You don't.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It's like the ones who, like, example, when DJ and I are in chat and we're like joking with each other back and forth and stuff. But then if someone else said something to DJ probably wouldn't feel as comfortable as the fact that
you're like, excuse me?
These things.
I don't know if this is a joke. I know it's all love between us. No. I don't know if it's a No, I'm just saying if they go there, you're like, wait, hold on, we're skipping steps. We're skipping steps to the friendship. So I totally get it. Oh my God! But what I was saying with the drag, which we then got to Nathaniel, but I was just in my booty shorts, in a wig, dancing to this song that was a really good song though. But again, just this random song, and Dr. Phil is there, just cheering my name because someone told him it was my birthday. And Dr. Phil, like I know all of the random stories. I don't know anything, but Dr. Phil was unbelievably so sweet to me, and I was so confused. Literally, and it was like, my bottle service is just for you tonight. I was just like, huh? I'm just here dancing. It was very sweet that I was so shocked that him and his wife were so nice to this random.
Give me $200.
Right, exactly. No, I wasn't expecting that. But like, I didn't think
tips.
Oh, that would have been great. But again, it wasn't a drag show. It was like a backup dancer for an industry show. So again, it was like a totally different beast. But anyone that does drag, invite your street friends because they don't know. And if they don't know, they don't have dollars, and then they feel guilty, and then you get a 20. I'm just throwing it out there. That happened to me. Thank you, Chris. Love you. I know you're not listening to this. But it was like such a cool moment. So I love my experiences in drag. Like I think about it and I'm like, I don't feel sad whenever I'm like not currently doing stuff. It's like, the stories are so exciting to be like, I forget how fun everything was. So it's reminiscent and just lovely. The one thing that I've been really excited about now in my content creation journey is that I'm now an It Gets Better ambassador. And that's been so exciting because I think of like these little things that I do now I always say little Ian. And like, I think about like little Ian, like finding out that like that I'm doing this. Like, because I never thought I was going to come out. I never thought. I was like, in my mind, I was like, you're going to be in the closet forever. You're going to be an actor because actors aren't gay or whatever. But, and I convinced myself that was the truth and I needed that. And then like all these things, like I do drag, I act, I'm fully out. I'm so gay. I'm so gay and I love it. And I'm like, it's so nice to be like, I've never felt more confident, which blows my mind because I didn't think that that was going to happen ever. And so like now that I get to be an ambassador for It Gets Better, it's so exciting because like with my channel, like there's so much you could talk about with being a queer person. But one of my main mission statement is to celebrate queer joy. Because I don't think little Ian believed that that was a possibility. And so it is. And it's so nice to be like, wait, everyone here is just so full of love and so full of joy. And it's just the most fulfilling thing I've ever done because, well, not like it's one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done because it's for little Ian. Everything for little Ian, I'm like, that's exciting. So that's just something cool that's going on that I get to do with a bunch of other queer people. That it's just so nice that like more queer people in my life, the better. So been really exciting.
Can you tell us about what It Gets Better does and like what the company actually is?
No, I won't. You'll all have to research yourself. No, I'm so kidding. Let me get up a really good blurb so I don't sound like an idiot though. It's something that's really tough too, that as a content creator that is like this constant source of anxiety that you always have, that when you're working with a company, when you're working with anything, you're like, I just want to say it so fucking perfect, you know what I mean? And
the censor came through.
It did, yes. I wasn't sure if it would. I'm going to start using it more. Thank you. But you don't want to mess it up because it's you want to be verbatim exactly right. And through that, you can see the stress in my eyes through that I'm like, yo, just get a script out because talking in a place of like, what do I do is just is not conducive to like giving clear information because you want to prove like, look at, I'm so with it. I'm so smart and I don't need any help. But I'm like, no, I want to be clear because if I'm not clear, if I get embarrassed, I don't like it. So
also, I feel like with such a big like platform, like It Gets Better, you want to make sure like it's getting to the people that need it and that they know exactly what like where they can go if they are struggling and like, you know, I feel.
For sure.
I mean, the mission statement is literally like very simple. It's like uplift, empower, connect lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer youth around the globe. And like that's
long
just
ago,
like
the 4 nations lived in harmony.
It's literally though lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer. But like they give so many grants to so many schools. They give so many opportunities to queer people that we don't have. There's so much more funding. It is meant to... It is a nonprofit, so they don't get, you know, the other... It's just to help uplift queer voices. And what my job is with the company really is just to show... When I auditioned, I'm still in that world. When I first submitted to be a part of it, I wrote that I want to show the examples of queer joy for people because there's so many avenues to talk about, like the things that we struggle with. But I was excited to show that it actually gets better. And so that was like kind of where I went with it. So it's been really cool to have a group of people that I talk to that's like, oh, no, we want you to do what you want to do. We're just however we can to facilitate that. So they never, ever like make me feel like I have to do something outside of my comfort zone just to show that I'm like, oh, look we're talking about these serious, important issues, but it is serious and it's important to show that the joy that exists, being out, being proud, and just being you. Like, there's nothing more powerful than being yourself. And I know it's so cheesy. Like, I get it. But, like, I love cheese first and foremost. But I do well with those statements. I love RuPaul got me through so much in college and so much through auditions. And why I've always felt very confident in auditioning or anything like that, because what other people think about you is none of your business. And I kind of took that and I ran with it. Every audition, it's like none of my business. I don't try to guess what they want. I don't try to do that. If you give me a no, I apply the no. But I do it exactly what I want to do. And if you don't want me, then I don't care. What other people think about me is none of my business. And so I never had these stakes. But these little things that feel like cheesy statements help, especially with my neurospicy brain. It really helps me to be like, oh yeah, ground yourself. And it just grounds me because I am up in the clouds as a person. My focus is up in the clouds. So anything I can to ground myself, baby, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I think
it's funny
That was so
you
fun to
say
talk about. I never really talk about that. That was so fun.
I was going to say, it's funny that you say that about like the acting and stuff and how you like go in and you just do what you want to do and then apply the notes if you get them and stuff like that. Because when I started doing auditions and stuff like that, I started kind of realizing that I was trying to change what I wanted. Like, you know, when you read a script and you look at it and you're like, this would be really interesting if this person did this.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're like, but also maybe they wouldn't do that. And then you like second guess yourself and you're like that whole thing. And I feel like sometimes if I'd gone into the audition room and had done what I had thought the person was going to do, that it would have gone better than it did before. And so that was something that I had to like learn as doing auditions and stuff. That was like, sometimes just go with your gut. If your gut says that they're doing this, then that's what they're doing. And if the person doesn't like it, they're going to tell you. And
Absolutely.
they're going to ask you, be like, why are you making that decision? And also that's another thing. Have a reason why you're making that decision. If the person, if the person says that they're walking through the kitchen and this or whatever, and you decide that they're actually not walking through the kitchen, that they're actually washing dishes or something, you need to know why they're doing that. That's like the thing, because if a director asks you like, why'd you make that decision? You need to have a story to tell, because otherwise they're going to be like, well, that wasn't what was in the script.
Absolutely. And I think that's something that I was talking to a friend actually the other day about, like just scripts. And she was like, I can't memorize anything. And I'm like, the reason why it's hard to memorize is, and because she's not an actor, like it's not, she just did, she was just talking about past like theater stuff. And we're just talking. I was like, the reason why I feel really comfortable with memorizing is that I just know what my objectives are. And this is why I'm doing this, is why I'm doing this. So lines just kind of flow out because I have to say this because this is what I want. So when you kind of like ground yourself there, it's so much easier. But I think it's so hard to not fall into the trap of like, oh, wait, maybe they want it like this. Because you kind of like put you're like, oh, I can predict what this director wants because I think this is what the script probably calls for, or probably what this right choice is. But I've always said, I always say to like people who are auditioning and stuff, would it upset you more to like do the role in a way that you're like, honestly, I don't feel this doesn't resonate with me at all? Or would it upset you more to not book it? Because I'd rather not book it, and then instead of doing an awful job, there were parts that I booked that I was like, I would never have fucking casted me as that, but, and it's a big but, you don't, there we go, thank you. I always do that, and then I derail myself, and I'm like, God, Ian, you can't make these jokes, your brain doesn't let you, you can't, you have to wait till you're done with your thought. And don't call me a thought. No. Sorry. See, then my brain did it again.
Thoughts and prayers.
Oh, I did it again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone.
We love it here. The jokes are so amazing. Like, we live.
No, honestly, I've always deferred to comedy, and it's so impossible for me. If I see a joke, it's so hard for me not to take it. Like, I see it, and I'm like, it's right there. Anytime anyone says, like, anything with an ER at the end, like, shopper, I hardly know her. I gotta do it. I can't help it. I can't.
Sometimes
you'll see me.
Watson.
Literally, though, it really is that. Really is that. I'm also a top. Anyway. So. Anyway,
we'll be right back. We'll be taking a commercial break. Here's a word from our sponsors.
Hey, this is from our sponsors. Ever wanted a little bow? Too bad, that's my brand. Get your own fucking little thing.
JoJo Siwa out of business. Stocks dropped to 0.
Oh, sorry. I don't know where I was going with that, but we went somewhere and now I'm gone. So, anyway, hi.
We're back.
I'm in a beanie.
That advertisement was lovely. We don't know who we're sponsored by yet.
No. Hopefully, hey,
we're sponsored by.
That's the next. We're getting that mattress sponsorship. I feel like that's a podcast go to.
Casper.
We're working on it.
Here at Green Chef,
honestly, anybody sponsor us at this point.
All right, I'm going to send you a little docket after the stream. There's a couple people that I'm like, reach out to these people. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. And I'm not saying their names because what if they're like, oh, they didn't respond to me, and then you're like, anyway, and I'm like, no, I'm not messing
We've
up
had
my
that happen
contacts.
before. On this podcast.
We've had that happen
it's not out
before.
of the ordinary.
Oh, phew. See, I'm smart. I knew.
We had one time, I'm not going to name names, but we had one time where I reached out to some certain person.
Don't say the name of the...
I'm not going to say the name, but I reached out to a person and they read my message and then left me on read. And then I reached out to them again because I had originally reached out just saying like, hey, this is who we are kind of thing, like if you're interested. And then the second time I reached out saying like, hey, would you be interested in being on the podcast? And they read it and left me on read again. So I was like,
I think that's so natural though.
Podcast.
Well, it's hard too because there's so many times where I'll get a DM and I'll respond in my head. I literally said as well on my show, I'm like, message me again because I saw it right before I went live.
No, literally.
Message me right now, right afterwards, so I could say right after stream. So I'm very thankful. But I'm a knower. I know this about myself. I'm not going to pretend. And I'm very crystal clear and I will apologize a lot. I love apologizing. It is my daily response.
Mine too.
I just can't help it. I think what it is like, it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry for something I did. It's more so I want you to know that I'm taking responsibility. And I think it translates to, I'm so sorry. And it's not me being like needing you to be like, it's okay. It's okay. I just want the person to know that I am like, I'm aware that that was a mistake. And I don't want you to feel like I'm not aware. I think that's where it comes from.
Yeah, see, mine's because I'm Canadian and also from trauma. So it's just like
I'm Canadian.
No, okay,
that's our next
but
merch
that's an
line.
actual.
It's
that's an
this
actual
with
reason.
I'm Canadian on the back.
I'm Canadian. No, but like it's actually true. Like it's because of that. Because like I can trip over a chair and I'll say sorry to it because I just like trip over
Empty
it and I think
chair,
I'm tripping over someone.
Solo.
And then I'm like, oh, sorry, and then I realize it's a chair, and I'm like, well,
no, and no. Hey, and that's okay. And that's okay. That's charming, really, right? I think that's just charming.
The chair is sitting there like, but why would you trip over me like that? Like, I have feelings.
That's why, oh my god, my favorite thing to say to someone. So I teach, for people who don't know this on the podcast, I teach little children musical theater. And one of my favorite things to say to my kids when they fall, they'll fall. And then they'll start crying, and then I get them to stop crying, and then I go into them and I go, did you apologize to the floor? And then they look at me really confused, and then I'm like, well, you fell on the floor. You might have hurt the floor. Did you apologize to the floor?
You fell on top of the floor.
The floor is their 9 to 5.
But it's so great. And then I've actually had a couple of kids go down like on their knees and been like, I'm sorry, floor. I didn't mean to hurt you. It makes my heart so happy.
You really said improv time, kids. Improv time. You're getting a full lesson.
Yes and. Little Susie, not cutting it. Sorry.
Susie, next. I don't believe the apologies. Get out. You're out of my theater. And the child's just crying. I don't just, this doesn't make sense.
It's like a 5-year-old and it's like, your divorce needs to be believable.
And they're like, what? Yeah, I love that. And I used to do a summer camp teaching musical theater, so I love that. I was like, wait, I didn't know we had that in common. Cute.
Yeah. No, I love my job. Love teaching my kids. I do that, and then I also teach singing to older kids.
Amazing. That is so cool.
Teacher / musical leader. Yeah.
Because I was an educator. I taught elementary school while I was acting as well. And then my main time was during the pandemic because I became full-time because they needed so many more teachers. And so I got to teach a lot during that. And it was really fun, but also it's exhausting when you're working with like administration and stuff. So I'm really excited that you get to work in more of a creative field with it because I think it makes it easier to get more support because there is like a political side to when you're like, trying to get your third graders and fifth graders to do well in English. And they want you to kind of, I'm sorry, I hate this. They want you to do it so it makes it so your students seem that they're way farther ahead than they are. And I don't like that. I want my students to get the help they need. And it was destroying me to like not to feel like what I know what the vice principal wanted to do was not what I was going to do because I just can't. It felt too. It just didn't. I was like I'd rather never teach again. And look what happened.
I mean,
They lost a good one.
teachers-
Imagine this teaching your third
literally.
grader.
Literally, I would have been like, all right, honey,
Right?
they are getting
Mhm.
every single gift of every single thing. They
Yeah,
are
I was
getting
about
the
to
good.
say.
Oh, I
like,
was spoiled by my parents. Oh, I was spoiled.
like, those are the kinds of teachers we need. Like, the literal winner of Call Me Mother Season 2
Maybe,
is a kindergarten
yes.
teacher.
Yeah,
and
but
that just
that's-
made my heart.
Substitute teacher. Substitute.
But it
And that's
still
what-
made my
yeah.
heart happy to know that, like, our youth is, like, being instructed by incredible people who really try to connect with
Yeah,
people.
we've interviewed a couple of. I mean, Weeby was one, Stony was one,
Mm-hmm.
and now you.
And
who
I think it's
have
really,
done education.
and I think it's so fun. It's so interesting to see because it feels like it's not common, but it is way more common because I think a lot of times I feel like I have this quality. I'm not going to project it on every queer person. Not every queer person has it, but I've met a lot of other queer people who have this like nurturing side naturally. I always say I'm like a mom gay. I can't help it. I gotta make sure everyone's okay. I hate if anyone's suffering, and I'm like, I got you. I got this. Let me take it. Let me do it. And I feel like that.
I have a Band-Aid.
I do. That was me. That was me as a teacher, and I had little things for all of my students whenever they were done early. I was not going to let anyone be bored. I don't know. I think it's just natural. But when I grew up, I didn't feel like I had any teacher like that, and so it was really exciting to you're not 100% sure, but like you kind of see like the baby gay and you're like, oh, that was me, and you get to just show how you're the best teacher ever. Like there's no student ever disliked me, really. Maybe some a little, but really not really. And so it was so cool to be like, I'm the coolest teacher. I'm usually I think I was always the youngest teacher too, and so it was just really cool to just have like these kids to see that, like, oh my good, look, the gay one's the cool one. Yes,
The little third grader walks in and you can hear art pop, and it's just
yes, you can though. But it was the funniest thing, like, because like kids are not going to be like, "Hey, Mr. W, are you gay?" Like that never happened. But they would ask, like, "Mr. W, do you know James Charles?" And I was like,
bye, sister.
that was them being like, no.
They gave you the homophobic dog look, and they were like,
No, they
"We
were like,
know."
and they just kind of said it with that face, and you're like,
God
I'm like,
damn.
I do. It was like that, but those moments were really nice because it also kind of showed like what the maturity of that student to want to know, but was respectful enough to not just full out be like, "Are you gay?" You know, it was really cool.
My
And
pronouns are Glock
I
and
love.
57.
They were always the best. They were always the best. One time, one student was like, "Mr. W, have you ever seen My Little Pony?" And I was like, "No," but I've been watching She-Ra because I was watching She-Ra at the time on Netflix, and they're like, "I love She-Ra," and so it was like these little like nudge, nod moments. But you know, I don't like really talking about anything else in my life.
You
'Cause
a
I'm like,
friend
we're
of
not
Dorothy?
friends. I always would say that to it. I'm fun. Y'all love me. I love all of you. We're never going to be friends. You're
Mhm.
literally 8, and I'm
Yeah.
not 8.
Now that
So
I'm
don't get it
6,000 years old.
Yeah, I could do a Fortnite. I could do the floss and look really cool for a second, but
Oh,
we're not
God.
friends. Oh, I was that teacher. Oh, but if you want, all the kids just think you're cool if you know Fortnite. Do I know
That's true.
Fortnite?
That was
I'd
the
probably
moment,
beat,
huh?
I'd probably
Say that.
beat your on Fortnite. Okay.
1v1 me right now. I don't care if you're doing your
1v1
times
me!
tables.
No. Hey, if you want to, if you beat me in this 1v1, then I will give you a passing grade. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But never.
You'll get a gold star.
You'll get a gold star for the week.
Period.
I didn't expect we'd go on this tangent, but that was a fun tangent.
I
a
love
fun
that
one.
tangent. Fun tangent.
Well, it's
I
fun because we could
actually-
all connect.
Yeah, well, exactly, because we all have like connections in that kind of way too, for sure. So one question that
Sorry,
we
teacher.
kind of like to like end our podcast with is, do you have any advice for anybody who is in the LGBTQ community, more specifically people who are closeted or people who feel like they can't be them true selves?
It's like it's a long journey. That's what I always say. But eventually you kind of hit a wall. And I believe in life, if you're not enjoying the journey, the destination doesn't really matter. And so, like, throughout your life, if you are not really living your life, there's so many things that you forget, you don't remember. I think about closeted past me. There's so many random stories that I don't remember because I was so busy thinking about all of these things, and it did the mental gymnastics of all of these things. And so I didn't really feel like I was really living until I was fully being myself. And I think giving yourself the permission to just go and do that is the most powerful thing. However, it is not easy. I had to hit a wall to come out. Like, I was in a secret relationship and everything, and then we broke up. And then when you break up, it's as if it never existed. And that was something I was so hard for me to deal with. That was the hardest thing I've ever gone through. And I couldn't talk to anyone about it because I was in the closet. So you're going to want these connections. You're going to want to build a life. Everything that you think will happen isn't necessarily going to happen. People will surprise you in their support. And the people who don't surprise you with their support and are awful, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. I know the cheesiness. It helps me, though. It helps me so much. So if people judge me, listen, I am so fun. I am so nice. I go out of my way. If you're going to judge me for being gay, I mean, goodbye. That is such a loss on your life, because I will give you everything. And I don't think I'm a perfect person by any stretch of the imagination, but I really care and I really try. And so I kind of have that little bit of an ego now of like, well, if you don't want me in your life, that's your bad. But yeah, have that like confidence in yourself that you are enough. But again, it's a long journey. I wasn't there, and I needed something heartbreaking for me to get there. So it's not easy, but like, give yourself the grace. If it's hard right now, it's not going to always be hard. And then it's kind of like this aha, like everything is better than I realized. And your friendships will mean a lot more, because friendship is probably just as powerful as romantic relationships, and people forget that. And if you really want to connect with your people, you gotta connect with your people. You're doing a surface level connection, and there's no deepening there. And you want to live a life. You don't want to meander through life. Live a life.
Period. Okay, so I think we are just kind of running out of time. So to end this right off, where can everyone find you? Plug all of your socials, everything, sponsorships.
Oh my God, thank you so much. You can find me at, my address is, no, I'm kidding. You can find me.
The first 4 digits of my social security number.
Actually, my last 4 digits. Can you please do my taxes for me? I don't want to do it. It takes so long. It takes so long when you're a content creator, let me tell you.
Especially with the Twitch 1099. Oh my God, it makes me want to cry.
It's so much. Anyway, you can find me at Itzy and Watson on every platform. I am on the Twitch primarily. I love it so much. I'm live every Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I post daily on the TikTok. And except for I posted today, but I posted a video the other day that like went viral. Today, like 8 views, and I'm like, are you kidding me? What is that? I can't hack this. It is a journey. So actually, y'all follow me on TikTok. I'm sick of it. I work hard on they're funny. They are funny. Because honestly, the edits take so much time. And the one that you didn't spend any time on really is like the one that does well. Anyway, you can find me on everything. Itzy and Watson. I am also streaming on It Gets Better channel on Twitch as well, once a month. I also am. I have other sponsorship stuff, but yeah, you can find it if you go look for me. So just come find me. I'm really nice too. So And I'm a chatty person, so come hang out on the Twitch channel. The shoulder's going. But
Yes.
that's it.
Why don't you come
Alright.
up and see me sometime?
Yeah.
Oh, why don't you come around? Wait, why don't you come around me in the ass sometime? It works so much better when you don't feel insecure if you feel bleeper. It's so nice.
I need a
recommend
button.
Alright.
Like the big red
We
easy
just
button.
want to thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on the podcast today. And we hope that everything that you do in the future is successful and makes you happy.
Right back at both of you. I stand both of you. I love that you're both doing this because, again, it is so hard to do things like this. So, and I applaud my friends for being brave and being entertaining and being great hosts. So, thank you all for having me.
Well, I certainly hope you enjoyed that illustrious interview with the lovely Ian Watson. I think that's gonna wrap it up for the episode, actually. So I hope you all have a
Oh, wait,
fantastic...
DJ.
Yes. Michaela.
You forgot to mention our socials.
And KG, you want to tell them?
Yeah, I can tell them. So our Instagram is We Are So Not Straight Pod. Our Twitter is Not Straight Pod. Our TikTok is We Are So Not Straight Pod. Yes, we have a TikTok. If you did not know that, you weren't listening to the podcast because we said it at the beginning of the podcast. But you know what? That's that. So yeah, we have a TikTok now. Our YouTube channel, which is where you are right now. So if you don't know where you are right now, that might be a little concerning. You might want to go see a doctor. But it's fine. But we will tell you our YouTube is We Are So Not Straight Podcast. That's where you can find all of our interviews from season 1 with the Call Me Mother season 2 cast, as well as all of our interviews from everybody this season. We've had some really great interviews, talked about a lot of great things. So please go check those out. Give them a thumbs up, comment on them, share them with your friends, family, strangers. I really don't care, but just please share and subscribe to our YouTube channel because we are trying to get more people following us on there as well. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, fits of rage, or suggestions, you can email us at wearesonotstraight@gmail.com. All this information will be in the description below. I think that about covers it. So DJ, you can finish the outro.
Okay, well, as I was saying before, I hope you have an absolutely fantabulous rest of your day, and we will see you in the next one. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.